just for everyone else who's watching this now online with us, okay? Guys, first and foremost, I'm grateful to have you guys here. I love what I do. I truly, truly do. I'm really grateful to be here to be able to serve you guys in a way that's meaningful to me, because we're going to be talking about purpose today. Purpose is it's an interesting topic because I guess we don't really get educated about it, right? Who's in general asked questions around, what am I here to do? What's life about? Do I want to do this for the next 50 years of my life? What is my purpose in life? Who's asked themselves a question like that before? Beautiful. And I'm going to get you to engage, guys, because information without emotion is rarely retained. Like, it's an example that most people can relate to. Who here can remember the moment that you heard about 9/11? Who here can remember the moment you heard about that? Why? Because it was a high level of emotion with an experience. So unlike school, I'm just going to accept another person into the group. Welcome Sharon, who's coming in now. Guys, unlike school where we're taught to sit there passively, don't talk to your neighbor, focus, don't engage, shut up and listen type of thing, that's not what I want here, guys. I want you to engage. I want you to type the questions into the chat box. I want you to raise your hand up because you guys are investing your most precious asset with me today, your time and your energy. So I want you guys to get something from it. I don't just want you guys to sit back passively and be like, oh, this was cool, this was motivational, and then you go and not apply anything in your life. I want you guys to take what I'm giving you guys today and go apply it in your life. Who's committed to that? Who's committed to engaging with me today? Hands up. Beautiful. So when I ask questions, guys, there will be some pen and paper. So if you don't already have pen and paper, please go get pen and paper. I'm going to share my story. It's not as important as the content today, but if you haven't got pen and paper, please make sure you guys do, okay? Let's continue through, okay? I'm doing a little social media giveaway today. I might disappear my face just for 2 secs. I am doing a little giveaway today, guys. Obviously, it helps me reach more people, help more people, and it allows me to give back to you guys. So, guys, throughout the workshop, I am doing it on Instagram. There were so many ways I could have done it. I decided on Instagram because that's where most people come through to see me. Guys, if you whack a photo up of you doing the workshop, might be a selfie, might be a photo of the screen or anything like that, take a photo, put it on Instagram, tag me in it, so then I can reshare it, I can connect with you. It obviously allows me to reach more people, and that's the win for me. By doing that, guys, at the end of this call, one person will win a 1 hour one-on-one session with me, okay? Where we can go deep into anything. Values, purpose, mission, vision, ego. We can go anxiety, depression, traumas, healing. We can go business if you want, if you're a business owner. So, guys, that is my little, ask for you guys today to win yourself a free coaching call with me. But besides that, let's get ready to rock and roll. Boom. Here's my story, guys. For people that don't know me, I can see some familiar faces. It's Kitty in particular, who's actually the photo here with me at the gym. That's Kitty came and met me through that. So thank you for being here today, Kitty. So, guys, I guess my story in a nutshell, and I'll share with some main points through how I explain it, because there's some points that we're going to come back to later. When I was younger, guys, I was a strange human being, and I got told some interesting names. I got bullied quite frequently, and I just really was, I know, weird, different, strange. I tell many people I got expelled from kindergarten, and not many people have that claim to fame, but I just didn't do well with other people. My mum's told me this story. She said she came into like my first day of kindergarten, and they called her up, and that she had to drive down to save the teachers, and I was like pulling the teacher's hair, and I was like screaming at everyone. I just didn't understand human beings very well. Socially speaking, I wasn't very good. And I'm from a small island. I'm from Norfolk Island. If anyone knows where that is, you might have to Google it. And they flew me from Norfolk Island over to Australia just to see like what the F was wrong with me. What the fuck's wrong with this kid? And anyways, I came back with the diagnostics that I have Asperger's. So struggles to learn, struggles to engage, struggles with people, socially a bit awkward. And if you've seen the movie Big Bang Theory, anyone seen that show? I used to love that show. Don't really watch it anymore. Sheldon Cooper, the main character, his kind of personality type is someone with Asperger's. Someone who's a bit quirky, bit weird, bit strange, not really good with people. That was me. But anyways, I really had a lot of pain around learning and around people. Like, I struggled to maintain friendships. I was that awkward guy in the corner that didn't really know how to engage and talk to people. And that was me when I was younger. But fast forward, I think I'm about 18 or 19 in that photo, but I found an outlet, which was sport. So I was relatively good at sport. I had good genes, good athleticism within me, and I love sport. I was contracted with NRL teams. We were talking about rugby league before with Kayla. I was contracted with the Brisbane Broncos when I was 13 to 15. And I was contracted with the Gold Coast Titans from 15 to 18. And that's when I kind of transitioned into the business world. And then when I got into the PLC world, I'm someone, when I do something, I do it properly. I commit to it. I try to do my absolute best. And that's what I'm doing here for you guys today. I want to give you everything I've got. We're doing some Q&A at the end, by the way. So you want to stick around right at the end. You've got a burning desire that you want to ask me. I'm here to serve, okay? So I got into the business world around the same time. So I was playing football and I was doing business. I got into the PT world and I just kind of lost the passion. I had a few injuries. You can probably see a big knee brace on my right knee right there. I dislocated my knee a lot of times and had a lot of, I got sick of the physio because I lived there. But anyways, by the age of 22, I'd open up 3 gym studios. I was hustle. I was living off 3 to 4 hours of sleep every night, and I wore that as a badge. I used to say, sleep when you're dead. I used to say that a lot. I don't know if I said that to you, Kitty, once or twice. But I was super hustle. But anyways, we'll keep going. There's some photos of it. Kitty, you might actually be in one of these photos. There's Lily. I know Lily's in there. Are you in this photo somewhere, Kitty? I think you are. I would have to find it. But that's what I was doing, guys. I was having fun, like just living life, enjoying myself. That's a fresh-faced Lewis down there. That's where I first started, PLC Burleigh. That's PLC Coomera. And then Mollendina is the third one that I opened. But anyways, let's review. What people saw, 22 years old, 3 franchises, full of confidence, happiness, freedom, heaps of cash, cars, holidays, love, heaps of friends. What they didn't see, and this was the reality, I felt like a fucking failure. Straight up. I felt like I was not good enough. I was always moving the goalpost. I was like, I would achieve something that most people would say, holy shit, well done. And I'm like, nah, this is shit. Like, look at this person. They're doing better than me. I need to beat that person. And I was always trying to prove myself to the world. Heaps of self-doubt, heaps of stress, anxiety. Again, I'll come back to anxiety a fair bit because that was a huge part of my life. I had no time for myself. I couldn't leave the business. For any business owners, key person risk. I was the business. I couldn't leave. I was really lonely. I was depressed. I had some really, really down moments. I had a phone call. We're obviously going down depression route today. I remember a phone call I got from my brother. Mental health's been a big challenge for my family as a whole. I remember this was at PLC Coomera, Kitty. It was a Sunday night. I got a phone call from my dad, and it's like, your brother's just left his death note. He's gone to kill himself. And I was like, fuck. What do you do? I get emotional thinking about it. But that's where I've come from. I'm just accepting someone else into the Zoom call. Let's keep going. So that was me, guys. So hustle. People thought I was doing okay, but deep down and inside, I was not okay. And the question's why? Why was that? I wasn't living or creating a life aligned with my life's purpose. Because I think we get, and we get this from social media, parents, upbringing, society, that it's like you got to work, hustle until you retire, live off a pension and die. That's the type of thing. So, but not many people really take the moment to actually take a step back and review life and be like, okay, is this really what I want to be doing? Is this really my path? Is this where I'm going for the next 60 years? Has anyone had moments like that where you're like, is this me? Is this me for the next X amount of time? Is this really what I want? So I started to have those moments and they started to show up in my world. I might just remove my face quickly. So this is the correct way, guys, of how to create a life that you truly love. You can screenshot this if you want, take a photo. This might be the photo for your Instagram story, but this is how you do it. Is you want to get clear on your purpose. That's what we're going through today. Why are you here? Like, you can see that photo there. I love space. I like looking up at the stars. I like visualizing. I'm actually reading, I'll come back to that book. I'm reading an awesome book on that at the moment. But what are you here for? Then what do you want to do in the next 5 to 10 years? What are your values? Now, we're not going through values today. I will use the word values 10 plus times during this workshop because it ties into it. It ties into everything. But values are what your life priorities are. I will touch on them in a little bit of time. And then there's outcomes. What are we going to do? That's the tangible, practical. What job? What are the bills? What am I investing into? What am I doing day to day? But what most people do is they spend their time down here. And they just focus on outcomes. Head down, bum up, hustle. That was me. And I'd woken up, I got 3 gyms, stressed as, burnt out, not enjoying life, super stressed and anxious. And this is where I started to go down this pathway. I started to read books, started to ask questions, started to talk to mentors, do courses and programs like what you guys are doing right now to start to learn that level of information, okay? So what we're going to be going through today is we are going through purpose, okay? So what is purpose? Good question, right? You guys can write a little bit of this stuff down if you want. A purpose is in its fundamental form is a function. What is the function of your existence? Like if you think of an ant, there's a little ant. I'll put my face back on. So there's an ant that's in a colony. Like he or she just goes out to build the nest or build the wall, and he or she just does that day in, day out, doesn't question, doesn't self-doubt, isn't anxious, isn't depressed. It just does that because it knows that's his or her purpose. He'll do that until the day he dies. And we all have our version of that. What is our purpose? Now you hear the word values again. Your values are a derivative of your mission and vision, and they are a derivative of your purpose. Hence the photo that we've got up here, right? So your values come from your purpose and mission, and your mission and vision comes from your purpose, okay? Now, your purpose is not something you find out in your external world. It's something that you discover is already in you, waiting to be awakened. It will present itself to you as you go through your journey in life, and by asking quality questions and constantly being open to receiving, you will discover it. Because we all have those moments of inspiration where you might get a bit of a teary eye, where you're like, I feel so fucking happy right now. It might be with your kids, might be at work, it might be when you help someone. Who's had those moments where you like just feel really happy, really fulfilled? It might be for a split second. Those are your signs, because the universe is giving you signs. A lot of people aren't awake to them. So I want to give you some consciousness to start to be awake to them, okay? Now, it is an expression of your highest value. Now, just to give, on the last workshop I did, we went through values, and I didn't want to do it again today so I could give you a bit of a different viewpoint. I generally start with values because it's the fundamental base of everything, and it ties into a lot of the tools we're going through. So to be honest with you guys, you're not going to get the full experience of the tools today because we're not going through values in detail, but you're still going to get a lot of value from this, okay? So your values come from voids and pain. Have a think right now. Think of the things that were painful for you in your upbringing. I'll use an example. You might have been bullied at school, or when you're upbringing from your family members, friends, or etc. on the way that maybe your weight or how you look. And then health or your image is really important to you today. I shared with you guys earlier that learning, I got diagnosed with Asperger's. I struggled learning, struggled with people. Learning was fucking hard for me. It was really painful. I was a slow reader. Who remembers getting their pen license in school? Biro licenses? Who remembers that? I was the last person in my fucking grade to get it. The last one. And my handwriting is still pretty rubbish, but that's a different story. So learning was really hard for me, and it was painful for me. I literally got a title of how bad I am at learning, right? So that becomes really important to me later. So whatever was painful becomes important later. Remember that, because we're about to use that tool, okay? I'll get rid of my face. Your values come from your biggest pain and voids in your upbringing. I just said that, okay? So again, there is a process that I go through generally where we determine these. We're just going to do a really rough version of them today so we can use this tool, okay? Your purpose in life is to find your purpose. Cliche, but makes sense. I want you guys to spend 2 minutes. I'm going to play a little background music as well, so we can, so you guys can think through these questions, and just let it come from your heart. If you're in your head, you're dead. Please remember that. If you're in your head, you're dead. This is from your heart. We're not analytically making outcomes. Someone wrote down a business question. They want to improve their business. This is not tactical business shit. This is personal stuff, guys. So don't overthink these questions. Let it flow from you, okay? I want you to write down, what do you love to do? Take 2 minutes, okay?
No one seems to hear a thing. Do you know that there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there's a spark in you. You just got it.
And don't overthink it. Just let it come. Keep writing, keep writing, keep writing, okay? If you're in your head, you're dead.
Just on the night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go,
Let it flow from you guys. Don't overthink it.
Cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds. After a hurricane comes a rainbow. Maybe a reason why all the doors are closed, so you could open one that leads you to the perfect road. Like a lightning bolt, your heart will glow, and when it's time, you know you just gotta ignite.
Go for another 20 seconds, guys.
And let it shine just on the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a
Alrighty, guys. Pens down or stop writing. We're going to keep going. There's a couple questions, so we're going to stay on time. What are you here to do? And again, don't think too much about it. Just let it come to you, because a lot of people, they get in a habit of saying, I don't know. And we have this thing called a confirmation bias in our mind. And whatever you say and believe about yourself, you'll find it to be true. So if you say, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, then you won't know and you won't find it. I'll share a funny story after we do this question, okay? So what are you here to do? And then when it comes up with, oh, I don't know. Well, if you had to know, what would it be? Go answer that question for me, guys. Have a minute and a half. Go for it.
I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I give my all to you.
Another 10 seconds, guys.
My end and my beginning, even when I lose, I'm winning.
Alrighty, we're going to go on to the next question, guys. What do you want to be remembered for when you're gone? I like using Apple as an example here, like Steve Jobs. I'm a big fan. I've in my room right now, I think I've got like 5 Apple products. I'm a huge Apple fan. And I don't remember Steve Jobs for having a lot of money. He certainly did by the time he was done. But I remember him for changing the face of technology. So you want to go a little bit deeper. Like if someone, knock on wood, say you were gone tomorrow, how would you want people to think of you? What do you want that answer to be? Keep going. You got 60 seconds.
You're my muse, my worst distraction, my rhythm and blues. I can't stop singing, it's ringing in my head for you. My head's under.
If you guys are courageous enough to whack those cameras on, I got about half of you with cameras on. So if you guys are cool, and Chun, thank you for these questions. Thank you for your comment. You love these questions. Mason, thank you for sharing your answers in the chat box. So guys, you can whack your camera on, and you got another 30 seconds.
Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning.
Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. We got a fair bit of content to cover, so I do need to stay on track today, guys. If you were given $1 billion, a lot of money, right? After all the fun, what would you do with yourself? Because some people think that the goal is to become financially successful, which is a part of life with the world that we live in, and then you'll just do nothing. You just sit on the couch and watch Netflix. You can only do that for so long, guys. There's only so many cocktails and sunsets you can watch, right? Because at some point, you're like, well, I want to do something with myself. So once you've got the cars, you've got the houses, you've got the travel, you've got the dogs. I've got a sausage dog for anyone that knows Dexter. He's a rock star. So once you've got all the stuff that you want in life, materialistically speaking, what would you actually want to do? Because you're not just going to wake up and just watch Netflix all day. That gets boring eventually. So what would you want to do? Go for it.
Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. and you give me all of you. I give you all of me, and you give me all
10 seconds.
of you. Oh.
Alrighty, guys. Now, this is the key question. This is, I actually had this little light bulb a couple months ago now. I've been doing purpose, understanding mission, vision, values for a long time now, but I had a bit of a meditation trip and had a bit of an experience. And this question is the one that came to me because, as we know, your values come from your voids. Your purpose is an expression of the highest value. So, if we ask ourselves this question, what was the biggest pain or void in your upbringing? And you got to be honest with this one. This one gets a little bit deep. We're not here for shallow questions, right? You probably wouldn't be on this call. So we're here to ask those honest questions. And from my answer, just to be vulnerable and honest with you guys, for me, I lacked consciousness. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to express myself. So my purpose is to improve the consciousness of the world, of mankind, of humanity. Because I needed it. I struggled to communicate. I didn't know how to regulate my emotions. I was anxious as they come. So I really struggled with the consciousness of how to handle those things. And that was most painful to me. So that's a hard question to answer, but I would encourage you guys to dive into it. Got another 60 seconds, okay, guys? Go for it.
As a shadow crosses mine, what it takes to come alive. It's the way I'm feeling, I just can't deny. But I gotta let it go. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place.
Got another 45 seconds, guys.
Shine a light through an open door. Love and life, how we'll define.
Got about 10 seconds left, guys, on the clock.
Feel the heartbeat in my mind.
Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. Who's starting to have some realizations? Who's starting to actually think about stuff they haven't probably thought about before, right? Awesome. That's guys, my goal here is to serve you guys. If one person gets some value from this, I'm a happy camper, okay? So good to hear. So I'll just remove my face again. So guys, I suggest journaling and meditating, putting awareness on that question, this one here. Because this is the ego, and I teach ego with my programs, but your ego will block out painful experiences from your consciousness. So that ties into trauma, which we're going to be talking about very, very soon. So if you've been through some painful stuff, and again, we're about to go into trauma soon, your ego will probably want to block it out. So when you get triggered, we're going to go through that soon, you're getting triggered from things you might not know where it's coming from. So it's a catch-22. Your ego wants to protect you, but it's also going to block out those memories, which is actually holding you back from understanding who you are and what's important to you, because the pain is what gives you the drive. So yeah, interesting concept. But I suggest, guys, journaling, meditating, talking, putting awareness on that question. You might not be able to read that very well. It's a bit vague, but guys, here's just some examples. We're about to write down our purpose, but just to give you some examples. So Coca-Cola, to refresh the world, to inspire moments of optimism and happiness, to create value and make a difference. Does that say anything about the drink? Does that say anything about the flavor? Anything about the making of the product? Absolutely not. It talks about what's the purpose of it. Facebook, to give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. Again, nothing about the service, nothing about the product. It's about the purpose of it. Sony, to be a company that inspires and fulfills your curiosity. I love that one. I love Nike's. Nike's is my favorite one. Bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you are an athlete. I love that one. Anyways, they're just some examples, guys, just to get you thinking a bit, okay? Remember, purpose is not tangible. For any of you analytical-minded people on here, this is generally a little bit more challenging for you because it's not figures and spreadsheets and black and white. This is the more fluffier, emotional aspect of things, okay? So, we're about to write our purpose, guys. Get excited. Tips for writing your purpose. It inspires you when you read it. That's a given. It does not have any numbers or measurable components on it. Your mission and vision will have that. So when we're breaking down your goals, what do you want to do in the next 12 months, the next quarter, the next month, the next week, next day, they're numbers. They're tangible. They're the tactical, blocking, tackling stuff that we do. Your purpose has nothing of that in there. Don't use words to impress other people. Sometimes simple is better. Yours might be if you had a big pain and void around family, then raising a beautiful family, being the parent that you never had, raising balanced children. It might be something as simple as that. I love that one. When first doing your purpose, use more words, and then you're going to cut off the fat and refine it. Link it to the biggest pain you went through. Okay, so that was the question that we just asked before, okay? So you're going to spend 2 minutes, and you're going to write down your purpose, okay? Good luck. If anyone needs any help, if there's any questions, guys, last question is triggering from Sandy. Yes, it is. And it's a triggering question, and we're actually going to go through triggers in a little bit of time. If anyone has any questions, guys, just whack it down into the chat box below, and I'd love to help you guys with it, okay? So 2 minutes, we're going to write down what is our purpose. Quite an interesting question. This is exciting, guys. Write it down, 2 minutes, go for it. If you've got any questions, guys, just whack it in the chat box. I am here the entire time.
Left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show, and the walls kept tumbling down in the city that we love. Great clouds all over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? We were caught up and lost in all of our vices.
You've got 45 seconds left. And for Mason, is that the slide you're referring to, man? Just type down below. Yep, you said thank you. I assume so. Any questions, guys? Just whack it down below. Keep going. Your ego will probably want to distract you and get you off answering the question, okay? Don't allow it. Don't look at your phone. Don't get distracted. Put the awareness on here, okay? Healing comes from awareness, okay? So keep going.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this?
All right, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, guys. Is anyone courageous enough to share? Is there any shares? Anyone courageous enough to do it? Please let me know. If is anyone courageous enough to even put their hand up and share? You don't have to. I'm not going to be singling anyone out, so you don't have to. Is anyone courageous enough to share? Kitty's got her hand up. Kitty, please unmute yourself and go for it, please. Thank you. Awesome. And where does that come from? Awesome. Little round of applause for Kitty, guys. That was beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is anyone else courageous to share? I won't call anyone out. I'll, if you are courageous enough, please do so. I'm not going to snipe people. I do that at some of my events, but I won't do that right now. Kayla, thank you so much. Thank you for, and even before she says, just a round of applause for being courageous enough for doing it, guys. Go for it, Kayla. That is beautiful. Where's that come from? Awesome. Oh, I can resonate a lot with the younger siblings because it was fucking challenging. It was really painful, and not having the right support, understanding, and guidance to do it. It's yeah, it's really powerful. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Kayla, guys. That was beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyone else, guys? One more. I've got Mr. Barker. I know this handsome man quite well. He's a rock star. Go for it, mate. Beautiful. And why's that? Where's that come from? Awesome. Beautiful. Round of applause for Mace, guys. That was awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Can you guys see how the voids create the drive? The pain gives you the purpose, right? And this is where we're about to go into a really obviously triggering, sensitive topic through triggers, traumas, etc. But let's do this. I thought this was quite good. Guys, everyone please raise your right hand, sorry. Get my left and right. Everyone raise their right hand. Everyone raise their left hand. Give yourself a round of applause. I love that. I thought that was good. Thought that was cute, huh? Let's do that. That was funny. All right. I need to correct my slideshow because it looks like I've got two of the same one. Yeah. Actually, no, more tips. These are more tips. So more tips, guys. Just review it and refine it as your level of consciousness increases, right? You're getting given some really awesome consciousness today, hence my purpose. So as you continue this, you're going to start noticing things. You're going to start noticing moments in your day, which is a reflection of what you just wrote down. You go, oh my God, there it is. There's that moment of inspiration. Holy shit. So be conscious of it. I want you guys, we're not doing that today. This is part of what I work on. I will touch on this, what I do service-wise outside of this, guys. But you want to then create a mission and a vision. Create a fucking life derived from your purpose. So what you just wrote down, imagine living a life where it was designed around that and everything you did was linking to that. You'd feel inspired, right? You'd feel incredible. Create a life around your purpose so you're fulfilled and inspired to do what you do every single day. That's the purpose of it, right? All right, disclaimer time. All right, so we are going into a very, very, I guess, taboo topic through triggers, healing wounds, and all that stuff. So just a disclaimer, guys, this is not professional medical advice. If you've seen a professional or if you're experiencing any medical challenge or issues, please seek professional advice and further guidance. My intention here is to serve you. I think you can gather that from now, from what you've heard already. And all I want to do is challenge your perspectives. I do not intend to invalidate you in any way, shape, or form, okay? Guys, this is some deep shit what we're about to go through, okay? And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because I struggled with it. I wish I knew the stuff I'm about to take you through, guys, because I was labeled. I was autistic. I was Asperger's. I was socially awkward. I couldn't learn. I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I couldn't make friends. I was given the labels and I lived to them. And we just went through it there. Your biggest pain gives you your biggest drive. So we're going to go quite deep, guys. So follow with me. If this gets too much in any way, shape, or form, guys, just detach for a bit. Take a breather, because we're going to go quite deep right now. Now, there's three things that I want us to understand. There are three parts to do the work when it comes to healing wounds and traumas. There's one, the trauma itself, also known as a traumatic experience. Two, there's the traumatic reaction. And three, there is the trigger, okay? So you want to separate those, you want to understand those. I'm about to explain what each of them mean, okay? So, there we go. So, a trauma is a really good line. I got this from an awesome book. A book I would really recommend. I've got it with me literally right now. You Are Not Broken. You're Not Broken by Dr. Sarah Woodhouse. It's literally Break Free from Trauma and Reclaim Your Life. It's a really good book. I'd write that one down. I'll show you quickly the photo of it. Like that. Really, really good book, okay? You're Not Broken. If I can put it close to the camera. There we go. So You're Not Broken. Really, really good book, okay? So, and that first line is in the book. Trauma is unprocessed memories. A traumatic experience happens when you have perceived threat plus overwhelm plus powerlessness. So we obviously generally have more traumas when we're younger because when you're 6 years old, 7 years old, 2 years old, you've obviously got less, you're more dependent or you're completely dependent on other people and you can't protect yourself, look after yourself. So something that we might perceive as adults is nothing can be traumatic to a 2-year-old. So just remember that. Trauma is unique to the individual. Two people can go through the exact same thing. One person could be traumatic to it, and one person might not be. Trauma is unique, guys. So you got to really appreciate that. Now, just to explain something here, guys, these are some types of traumas. So there's big traumas, and you'll see I've written other traumas. This is from that same book, because I don't like to invalidate people to say some are smaller. So you see big ones, and instead of saying small traumas, it's other traumas. So there's some very common ones, but again, it could be literally anything. There's war, sexual assault, death, experiencing or witnessing abuse, neglect, abandonment, catastrophic injuries, illness, severe human suffering, stressful births, and then other traumas, extreme social isolation. That's what I experience. That's me at the top. Divorce, losing a job, financial ruin, bullying. That's me again. Betrayal, feeling unseen, unheard, or unloved. That's a huge one. That is a massive one for a lot of people, and they don't allow themselves to appreciate that is traumatic to someone. Let's use a little example. So say you're at school. First day of school. This was traumatic to me. So first day of school, I freaked out. I cried. But you go in and your mum or dad drops you off to school, and you come back to mum and dad and you're like, Mum, Dad, I feel so scared. I don't want to go there. I'm freaking out, whatever. And your parent, with the best intentions in the world, they say, love, you're going to be fine. Go have some fun. That's what they say. Did they make you feel seen? Did they make you feel heard? Did they make you feel loved in that moment? You can argue yes or no to that. A lot of people would say no. So even though the intention was fucking awesome, go have some fun, you'll enjoy yourself, you'll get over it, they didn't make you feel seen, loved, or even validated. So that could be traumatic to someone. And this is the fascinating part. We're going to go through triggers so you can actually understand what traumas that you may or may not have healed through yet. Parental mental health issues or alcoholism or addiction in the home. Second part, traumatic reactions. Something is only a trauma if you have a traumatic reaction to it. So for example, again, like you might go through something that with two people could go through the same thing, and only one person might develop a traumatic reaction to it. It is the reaction that you have when you're triggered. We're about to go through triggers, which is either empowering or disempowering. There are common traumatic reactions, but there are also very unique ones to individuals, okay? Here are some common ones, and you might be able to identify some that you experience. You get a knot in your stomach when you see someone. That was me a lot. You feel shame or anger when someone criticizes you. If you isolate or you shut off. Eating disorders. You hoard money, plastic surgery. You need to be like / people pleasing. That's a big one for me. Anxiety, depression, stress. Shopping addiction, hating yourself, need to be better than everyone in the room. Forgetfulness, fear of driving, brutal negative thinking. Drug or alcohol abuse. Hatred of men / women. Fear of being late / early. That was one for me as well. And migraines. Who here can see some of those? Who relates to some of those or have done some of those before? Hands up. Beautiful, guys. Thank you for being honest. And again, everyone's different. Everyone's unique. You might have some that aren't on that list. There's definitely way more than that, just that list. But it's just giving you a bit of consciousness, guys. And remember, that is what would happen when you're triggered. So we're about to go through triggers, and we'll tie it all together. A trigger is something that you perceived that activates the traumatic response. It will be something that reminds you of the trigger of a trait of that traumatic experience. By becoming conscious of your traumatic reactions, you will be able to be conscious of what your triggers are. And by doing that, you can actually trace it back to where it's coming from and do the healing work. I use this example analogy a lot. So say I've got an open wound to my hand right here. There's a camera. So say I had an open wound right there. And say I had a cat hair. If I put a cat hair on that wound, it would shock me. It would get me like that. But if you touch me anywhere else, I wouldn't really feel it. That's what happens when you've got a wound. So say, for example, I had a lot of insecurities around learning and so my intelligence, how smart I am. Has anyone relate to that? Anyone had any insecurities around their intelligence? So if someone come up to you and said, you're a fucking idiot, and you're insecure and you've got a wound there, you might react back and you might be anger or frustration or shut off, whatever your reaction is. For me, social encounters were painful for me, as I told you my story, right? So my traumatic reaction was isolation and shutting off. I would go in my room. My mum and dad, they were verbally and borderline physically abusive to each other. I would lock myself in my room. Anyone relating to this shit? Beautiful. Vulnerability is the key with me, ladies and gentlemen. So, I hope that you guys understand the difference now. So, trauma is the trauma you go through, the experience you go through where you feel threat, overwhelm, and powerlessness. The trauma reaction is what you do, is your response to what happens. You might get anxious, you might get overwhelmed, you might shut off, you might get anger, whatever it is. And the trigger is what activates it all. It's what reminds you of that back then, okay? Is this making sense so far, guys? Can I get a thumbs up? Or maybe type in the chat if this is making sense. Beautiful. Alrighty. So, how to do the work. Guys, I'm going to give you another disclaimer. If too much emotion comes up for you right now, stop. Okay? You need to appreciate that everyone's on their journey at whatever point they are, and not everyone's ready for this stuff. So please, another disclaimer, if you need to stop, just stop, okay? But if you're ready for this, let's go. Who's ready? Hands up. Who's ready? Ready to do this? Let's go. Alrighty. Write down what's something that triggers you. Be honest. Could be your partner. Yeah, and you will be, and just as something, I do a lot of coaching in relationships with people. It's because you will get triggered the most in an intimate relationship because they're going to get to know you the deepest and most intimately. So they're going to bring all of this shit to the surface. Who's been triggered in a relationship before? I got hands and feet in the fucking air. So because they're going to get to know you the best. And I'll share vulnerably about my relationship on this podcast. I just said podcast. I feel like I'm on a podcast. On this call today, because I still get triggered, guys. I'm a human being too. But I'm going to show you how you can dissolve it and balance it out quicker. That's what I want to give you guys today. Okay. Now this is a big part. Let me explain this. When people judge something, they paint people a certain color. So for example, say I bump into Kitty. I've met Kitty many times in person. Say, for example, Kitty sees me at a moment in time when I was really fucking angry because something triggered me. Kitty's perceived me once for 10 seconds from my whole life. She paints me a certain color. Lewis is an angry person. Does that make sense, guys? She's seen me once. She saw me at one moment, and that's who I am. So when people judge someone, like think about this. Who's someone that you don't like? And you'd say like friend, family member, whoever comes to mind. You don't hate everything about them. You don't hate the color of their shoes, the color of their skin, who their parents are, what they did when they were 7 years. You don't hate everything about them. They did a couple things that pissed you off, right? Or hurt you, right? They're not the incarnation of evil itself. I don't believe in absolute evil. I'm a nice person. I'm also a mean person. There's a good example. Put your hand up on this call. Who sees themselves as an honest person? Put your hand up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Put your hand down. Put your hand up if you lie. You've lied before and you lie. Put your hand up. I've got my hand up too. Everyone fucking lies. You might call it a white lie, but you still lie. We all express all traits. This is a tool that I use later on. We're not going through that today, but we all express all traits. So what I want you to do is isolate the trait that you're judging this person for. You don't hate them because of everything they did. There's something you're judging them for. So let's go back one question. What is something or someone that triggers you? I should have wrote someone in there. So what is something or someone that triggers you? What specifically triggers you about that person or situation? Put some background music on while you guys do this. Oh, that's like meditation music. We'll put that on soon. I like Bruno Mars. Any Bruno Mars fans here? Alrighty, if I'm going too fast, guys, just whack it in the chat box and I can slow down for you guys. Alrighty. What in the past is that triggering in you? Because, excuse me, a trigger reveals a part of you that you haven't healed through yet. It's the cat hair. So if I'm triggered, there's something there for me to heal through. There's an exercise to go through. Your triggers are your gifts. We're kind of doing that today, not the full extent to it, but we're kind of doing that today. I'm just accepting someone into the Zoom, 2 secs. So when you're triggered, it's revealing a part of you that you haven't learnt to love or you haven't healed through yet. So please remember that. I should have put that as a slide. But That is huge. So when you're triggered, if you can ask that question, okay, what specifically is triggering me about this person? Is it their tonality? I had a lot of pain around masculine energy. I had a dad who, I loved him and he loves me. I'm still good. I've mended our relationship a lot together, but he was very masculine and didn't make me feel safe to express myself. I'm not sure anyone relate to that with masculine energy in their life. So I had a lot of pain with that type of energy. So when I meet people in person, especially at school, who are those, those macho masculine energy people that you bump into, it would trigger the fuck out of me and I would disassociate. I would avoid those people because that's that trait in them that's triggering a wound in me. Does that make sense, guys? Phil, if you got questions, whack a low, guy. I've given myself an extra 30 minutes today. So if you got questions, please just whack them below. So what's someone or something that triggers you? What specifically, get the trait. Is it their anger? Is it their energy? Is it what they said? Is it what they did? What specifically? Don't paint them the whole color because you're generalizing and that's not serving you. What specifically is getting you? What is that triggering in your past? It might have been your dad, might have been your mum, might have been a bully, might have been your teacher, might have been a cousin, might have been a business partner, might have been something. What is that? Ex-partner, current partner. What is that triggering? Keep going. Write that down. I'm going to get some slower music. That's a bit fast for this type of work. So, alrighty. Next one. Okay. Now, this is the hard part. This is hard. I want to challenge you guys. I'm not just invalidating you. I just want to challenge you. What is the trait? So what is that triggering in you, the past? What is the benefit of that trait? So say, for example, let's use that example I just used. My dad was very masculine, didn't make me feel safe. So because I felt so unsafe to be myself, it's made me very fucking good at making other people feel safe to be themselves. Do you think that helps given the work that I do? Fuck yeah. So even though it was the most painful thing to me, one of the most painful things in my upbringing, it's what's given me my strength to, you can use the word empath. I can really feel how people feel. When someone's off, right? I've got like a hypersensitivity to that. Even if someone's a 9 out of 10, I say, hey, look, you seem a little bit off. Is everything okay? What's going on? Let's catch up. Let's have a chat. So the pain, the benefit of my dad doing that to me gave me the skill and the strength that I have today. And I can use all of the pain of being diagnosed with a condition that you can't learn has made me a fantastic learner. Do you think that helps me with what I do with my work? Of course it does. So what is the benefit of that trait of the situation that you went through, okay? Again, if too much emotion comes up, please stop. I'm not here to get people to break down, but you might have some releasing right now, guys. You might have some shit come up, some emotion come up. Feel it. If you're safe enough, you feel safe enough, feel it, because that's how you let go of it. To heal, you need to feel through what you're suppressing. Any questions, guys? Please fire away. But write down, what are the benefits? Keep going. So you're going to go for another 30 seconds. Get as many benefits as you can. Go for it. How has it shaped you into the woman or man that you are today? Has it made you a better parent? Did your parents show you what not to do as a parent because it hurt you so much? That's something I got from my father. Has it given you the fucking strength to help people not go through the same thing? Oprah Winfrey, I love that fucking woman. Holy shit. Sexually assaulted half a dozen times before the age of 12. She was born to a 14-year-old mother. Her mum was 14 years old, gave birth to her. She fell pregnant through one of her sexual assaults, gave birth to a stillborn child at the age of 14. Look what she's achieved. Did she need to go through that to achieve what she's achieved? No. But do you think that's given her passion and fucking purpose to help drive her to who she is today? Absolutely. So keep going, guys. Go for another 20 seconds. If there was one more benefit, what would it be? A good question. What's the benefit of that benefit? So look at the benefits you've written down. What's the benefit of that benefit? Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. If you're feeling some emotions come up, guys, just feel it. Just feel through it. Regulate. Take a big deep breath in if you need to, but you're in a safe space. Alrighty. Now, this is a good question. We all express all traits, right? We all said we're all honest. We all said we're all liars as well. So, I'll share a funny story. I went down to Sydney 2 or 3 weeks ago with my partner, Georgia. Is she on the call? She's not. She wasn't on the call before, but I've told this publicly. We live in a relationship where we appreciate that we are going to share each other's shit to help other people work through stuff. So we're on the plane, and I didn't realize at the time, but she was really nervous, quite anxious. And we're on the plane, and there was someone's, you know how you put your bags underneath your seat or in front of the seat in front of you, right? When you're on a plane. And she went to put her bag. She's got a nice bag, an expensive handbag, and she went to put it down there because she didn't want to put it up top, didn't want to damage the bag. Made sense. And someone had already taken her spot. And she looked at me to me and the air hostess and said, "Some people are just so selfish." And you could hear the judgment in the way she said selfish. And I looked at her with big eyes. I'm like, "Hang on, baby, you know this shit as well as I do," because we understand the stuff. And since then, every time she's selfish, I say, "Babe, that's very selfish of you, isn't it?" Because she does the same fucking thing. I'm selfish too. The other morning, we made bacon eggs the other day, and she had more bacon than I did. I said, "That's fucking selfish of you, isn't it, babe?" It's just little things, but it's the same trait. We do it in our own life. So what I want you to do to remove the emotional charge that you have towards this person or this trait, where in your life do you do the same thing? And it might be in a different form. This is just to give you a bit more context. It might be in a different form. This is a great example that resonates with me. You might judge someone for conflict. That might be the trait. You might judge them because they're always in fucking conflict. They're always arguing. They're always fighting. They're always a lot of conflict in their life. And you're like, "Well, I don't do that in my life." You might not do it to people in person because you're too cowardly to do it. You might have it in your own fucking head. Who's been too scared to tell someone something in person and you have that same argument in your head over and over and over again? I've done that a million times over. So you do it. You just do it in a different form. You don't do it in person because that's actually too uncomfortable for you. You do it in your own head. So what's the trait that you're judging this person for that's getting triggered? And what's the benefits to you? You've written down that. And where do you do the same thing? Write that down. That one shouldn't take too long, so I'll just give you another couple seconds. Alrighty. And this stuff is amazing in a relationship, by the way, guys. Really, really powerful. You for example, I would say something in a judgmental way to Georgia, and Georgia would say, "Babe, where do you do the same thing?" And I'm like, "Fuck you." But she's like, "You're right. You're right. Thank you. Thank you for the accountability. I appreciate that." So this is actually very, very powerful in relationships, by the way. This is a good question. Who sees the same trait in you? So the thing you're judging that person for, who sees you the same way? I'll use an example. I was driving with my brother, Tom. He's an absolute rock star. And I'm just saying, "Hey, Tom, we went through the process. You can imagine what I'm like in a car, right? The stuff that I would be talking about when we're driving." I'd say, "Man, who do you have a lot of judgment over?" And he said his ex-partner. I said, "Okay, what specifically do you judge? What do you judge her for?" "She's such a fucking liar." And I'm like, "Really?" I said, "Where do you lie? Tell me when you've lied. You've lied to me before. We're brothers. I know when you've lied to me." Well, I'm just going to mute that account. Xiaomi, if I said that right. I hope I said that didn't offend you too much. So where do you lie? What we just did. Where do you express that trait? And I said, "Man, who sees you as a liar? Who's someone that you've been through with life? Friends, family? Who's someone that sees you as a liar? He's like, shit. And he'd name me like 4 people. So you're the same person. You're judging her for the same thing that you do, right? And you could just see the penny drop, the aha moment for whoever wrote that down earlier. So who sees you the same way that you see this person? Go for it. These ones shouldn't take too long, so I'll give you 20 seconds. Alrighty, guys, let's stay on track. Now, guys, keep answering these questions until you can genuinely say that you're grateful for this personal situation. Until you can say that you're grateful, you have not let go. Because judgment's a spectrum. You could dislike someone a little bit, or you could think they're the worst human being on the planet. It's still judgment. So keep going until you can say you're grateful for it. Oh, you keep using my dad as an example. Like, I had so much judgment over him for so long for not making me feel safe, not allowing me to express myself, for that masculine energy, for all that stuff. And until I could say I'm actually grateful for those individual traits, it still triggered me and affected me in today. Who's had some light bulbs so far? Who's had some little aha moments? Beautiful. If anyone's courageous enough to whack a light bulb into the group chat, I'd love to hear it. So what we're going to do, guys, just so we can wake the body up, okay? Can everyone please stand up? Please stand up, please stand up, please stand up. And I want everyone to, I'll scoot it a little bit. I just want everyone to shake their body out of it. Just shake it out. Shake that body out. Move a little bit. Shake it, do a squat. Shake it out. And 3, 2, and 1. I like to wake us up. I don't like to be too... Like I said, guys, we don't want to be at school. Dwayne, I'm just going to mute you, my man, just so we don't hear those noises. Guys, I don't want us to be like at school. I don't want us to just sit down passively. I want us to do it because this is some deep shit. This is some practical stuff that we're going through today. So, all right, let's keep going. Alrighty, let me just go back to my slideshow. Oh, I can hear some noises. No, we're good. Alrighty, let's keep going. So, guys, take a seat. Anxiety, depression. Who here came for this? Who's been looking forward to this stuff? Beautiful. One person, Kayla. Awesome. Jess, beautiful. Let's go through it. Dwayne, my man, I'm just going to mute you just so it just doesn't come through. I muted you. But thank you for joining, brother. Guys, what is anxiety? Again, no, I don't want to invalidate anyone. I've been through it. This has been my most painful upbringing experience. This is what serves me. You don't have to subscribe to my beliefs. This is just another perspective, okay? So I'll just get it on my face. Anxiety is a very normal emotion that everyone experiences. When we were cavemen and women, when a tiger walked past, we would get anxious, our sympathetic nervous system would activate, and we would look for the worst case scenario to survive. Anxiety allows us to survive. That alone will challenge a lot of people. I made a video about it literally on Instagram, I think a day or two ago, and I've had some fucking big messages from people just like not agreeing with me in a polite way. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Blah, 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 blah. That's fine. That's cool. You don't have to subscribe to this. This serves me. I've been a very, very anxious character a lot of my life, so you don't have to subscribe to what I'm saying right now. It is a stacked experience. We're about to go through that. If you don't have the consciousness and tools to navigate anxiety when it shows up, it can affect you in a negative way. So anxiety is normal. It will always be there. Some people live in a world where they try to disown a part of themselves. That is futile, and you will always suffer because of it. It's like saying, I will only love myself if I'm never sad. Who knows, they will be sad again in the future. They will experience sadness for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. You're going to. You can't experience happiness without sadness. You need that duality to actually experience both sides. So anxiety will always be around. Though taking medications to stop you from being anxious is... I got to choose my words carefully here, but it's not going to solve it. It's always going to be there. It's a part of the human psyche. Anyways, so this actually ties into trauma is what we just went through. So anxiety is a stacked experience, just so you can read that. Anxiety stems from a feeling of being unsafe. So when you're unsafe, the tiger walks past, you feel anxious. Say, for example, you're driving your car and someone takes the wrong turn and is driving head on towards you. Who thinks they're going to feel anxious in that moment? Hand up. You want to, because everything activates, your muscle contract, and you're on edge, you're ready to rock and roll. You want to. You don't want to be like, oh, look, there's a car coming. Maybe I should do something about it. No, you want to be, fuck, I'm about to die. Let's get out of the way. You want to be anxious in that moment because you want to survive. That's what anxiety plays its role as. So you don't want to get rid of that part of you. You just want to learn how to regulate it. So, but it's also a stacked feeling. So let's use an example. You're younger and you witness your father beat up your mum. You feel unsafe. You feel anxious. Your dad or father's wearing a white shirt and blue jeans. The next day, you're walking down, you see another man who's not your father, but it's a different person, and he's wearing white shirt and blue jeans, and he triggers the same emotion. So it's a trigger. He triggers the same traumatic reaction in you, and you feel anxious again. The next day, another man wearing a yellow shirt and blue jeans and triggers the same thing. If you continue that, you've got 50 fucking triggers to make you feel anxious. Why do you think people feel anxious all the fucking time? Because they've got so many little traumas, big or little traumas, other traumas, and they've got so many references to activate it. That's why it's like walking through a landmine in a day-to-day life. You're literally setting yourself off to be anxious every 2 seconds. And that's where anxiety can affect you in a negative way. Does that make sense, guys? Hands up, thumbs up. Any questions? Whack it below, guys. This is I'm doing Q&A at the end, so if you do have some like bigger, deeper, off-track questions, probably keep that to the end. But if you've got any questions about what we're going through right now, whack it in the chat box, okay? So, whatever you judge yourself for, you'll continue to do. Just remember that. Whatever you judge yourself for, you will continue to do. I use smoking as an example. It's like, I got this from a good teacher of mine, Dr. John D. Martini, and he had a client, and he was like a smoker. He's like, how would you stop me from smoking? He's like, I wouldn't. There's nothing wrong with smoking. Judgmentally, there's nothing wrong with smoking. There's not right or wrong. Is it optimal for your health? No, it's not. And he turned it around. He says, you judge yourself for smoking. If you were totally okay and accepted that you are perfectly who you are and loved for smoking, how would you feel? And his shoulders dropped. And he relaxed. He's like, shit, I feel really good. And he's like, and in that state, do you feel like a cigarette? He judged himself for it, so he kept doing it. It's a catch-22. It's hard to explain, but I hope that made sense. It's hard for that one to click with you guys. But if you're judging yourself because you're so anxious, you're going to continue to do it. Does that make sense, guys? Just thumbs up, hands up. Beautiful. Alrighty. Okay, let's write it down. What are the benefits of anxiety? Write it down. Let's balance it out. What are the benefits of anxiety? For people, like, okay, guys, I'll be honest with you. I don't use the word anxiety. I use like excitement, etc. I'm going to use the word anxiety here, but I don't use it in my normal language. I was anxious for this call today. I was like, fuck, what am I going to say? Is anyone going to show up? Sarah, if she's still on this, she jumped on 15 minutes earlier, and it was only her for 15 minutes. I'm like, fuck, one person's on this call. Oh my God, no one showed up. I'm such a loser, whatever. I was feeling anxious before it. So I was so fucking prepared. Do you know how many times I've read this fucking slideshow, guys, before I did this? I wanted to be prepared. So anxiety makes me prepared. In business, when I get anxious about if I look at my bank account, I'm like, fuck, I feel anxious seeing the number, makes me work harder. So anxiety makes me work harder. For parents, any parents on the call? You got any parents? Parents? Beautiful couple. So I'm not a parent yet. I've got a dog. I'm a dog parent, but clients that I've worked with, anxiety makes them a better parent because they're thinking about them. They think of like, what could go wrong? How could I protect them? How could I help them? Again, there's a balance there. If you're too anxious, that obviously could be a bad thing as well. But there's benefits to doing it. So anyways, keep going, guys. Write down the benefits of anxiety, just so you stop judging yourself for it.
All the things I know right now, if I only knew back then, it's no getting over, it's no getting over, it's just no getting over you. Wish I could spin my world into reverse, just to have you back again. There's no getting over, there's no getting over, there's just
Another 10 seconds, guys. If you guys are courageous enough, guys, whack some benefits into the chat box. Because some benefits you think of, some people might not have thought of. So any benefits of anxiety, guys, whack in the chat box. This is the process. So we're not going to go through the whole thing, but as in, like, this is something you use when it shows up. So you're never going to not be anxious. So stop living in that bullshit. Stop thinking like that. It's like saying I won't be good enough if I don't. I'm only going to love myself if I never feel sad again. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah, I think Kaylee just took a photo. Take a photo, guys. Take a screenshot. Smile. Take a photo, take a screenshot if you want. This is the process, okay? So the process is you want to be conscious that you're emotionally elevated. Is it easier to stop a snowball when it's just got it started or when it's fucking huge? Which one, guys? Option A or option B? Option A, when it's really small. Thank you, Kayla. So it's easier to stop yourself when you're starting to get a little bit overwhelmed. You know, like when you're having a full-on panic attack and you're hyperventilating and you're crying your eyes out. It's a bit harder when you're at that point, right? So you want to, okay, hold on. I'm feeling a little bit anxious right now. Okay, I can feel the heart rate. I can feel whatever. You want to catch it, okay? Be conscious. Consciousness is the key. You want to breathe. Let's do this together. I just want to practice the breath. So when we breathe, guys, I also want you to breathe into the lowest parts of your stomach. When you're having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, how are you breathing, guys? Short and sharp or low and deep? Short and sharp. So let's do the opposite. So we want to breathe deep, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds hold, 5 seconds out, okay? Into your belly. Let's do this together. Let's go. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it and feel it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who feels a bit better just doing that? That was just one. Do that 5 times over because you want to come back to your baseline, okay? So be conscious. Consciousness is the key. Okay, I'm a little bit anxious here. I'm a little bit stressed. This can type in. I'm a little bit depressed. We're about to go through depression. Well, whatever it is. Consciousness. Catch yourself. Kill the monster while it's small before it's big enough to kill you. So get it while it's small. Get it while it's just starting to show up. Breathe. What we just went through 5 times over. See the situation as it is, not worse than it is. Because when we're highly stressed or emotional, you turn an anthill into a mountain. The sky is falling. Like everything, the world's coming to an end. Who's guilty of that? You think, it's like you work yourself up, you're so overwhelmed, so stressed, so anxious. And then when you actually fix the problem or whatever happened, you're like, fuck, it wasn't even that bad. So get back to neutral, then look back at it. Reassess the situation. See it as it is, not worse than it is. Give it an empowering meaning. There's a great book. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. Has anyone read that book? It's a great book. Anyone? Highly recommend it. Really good book. It's Dr. Viktor Frankl. He was a psychologist. He went through World War II concentration camp with the Nazis. He went through that. His brother, father, mother, and sister were all killed in a gas chamber. He went through the full experience. He had one piece of bread to eat for 3 days. If someone was to drop dead next to him, you keep walking and not bat an eye about it. He went through one of the most horrific experiences in mankind's history, to be honest. And on the other side of it, he had purpose, meaning, and gratitude. He placed an empowering meaning on it. And we have the same ability as human beings. It's our frontal lobe, neocortex, that allows us to assign what things mean to you. A breakup could be the end of you or the start of you. You get to choose. One's going to empower you, one's not going to, okay? Kitty, I think, from what we've spoken about, I think that would help out. So take action. So once you've got an empowering meaning, then you want to take action. This is something I believe heavily. A lot of people in the self-development space, they're like, be positive thinky. Bullshit. No, you're going to feel negative. You're going to feel anxious. Like, let's be practical, right? And let's just see our problems of how great they are. Yes, there's benefits to the problem, but we still want to be fucking practical and fix the problem. If you're feeling anxious, you regulate yourself, you come back to it and you're like, okay, what's happening is I've got a friend in my life who treats me like shit, talks to me, gives me negative beliefs, makes me doubt myself, etc. Empowering meaning is he's giving me strength and is making me work harder and allowing me to work on myself. But then you want to remove that fucking friend. You don't want to keep them there. So you want to take action, okay? So what do you want to do? What do you need to do to progress the situation, okay? Alrighty. Depression. Who's honestly experienced this? I got my hand up. Beautiful. Again, I'm not invalidating anyone because my viewpoints are a lot different than the average bear, okay? What is depression? Let's go through it. If the opposite of hot is cold and up is down, left is right, what is the opposite of depression? expression. Read that again. If you're not living authentically in alignment of your highest values, you will experience negative emotions such as sadness, feeling lost, feeling down, beating yourself up, feeling depressed, which is feedback you are not living or fulfilling your highest values. Again, I'm trying to dance on the line of not invalidating you guys, but also challenge you. And obviously that's a line that's hard to, because what I just said could have just fucking triggered someone just then. And I'm giving you consciousness to heal, right? So you're welcome. So I'm trying to not invalidate you, but I'm trying to challenge you at the same time. So it is a dance for me. So if I do trigger you guys, you heard my intention at the start. So we haven't done values today. I have a process that we go through. There's a 12 question process that we go through to do it, but we're going to do a rough version of it right now, okay? So I want you to write down from 1 to 7. What are your most important areas of your life? Could be family, business, career, money, experiences, friendships, learning, relationships, being a parent, teaching, coaching, sports, health, animals, music, nature. It could be absolutely anything, okay? Write those down for me, and then we'll keep going, okay?
There's no getting over, there's no getting over, just no getting over you. Wish I could spin my world into reverse, just to have you back again. There's no getting over, there's no getting over, there's just no getting over you. No, no. Just no getting over.
Alrighty, guys. It shouldn't take too long. Awesome, Dwayne. Thank you for writing yours. If you guys want to whack yours down below, that'll be awesome. So God, health, work, career, money, music, family, friends. Awesome, Dwayne. Thank you, brother. So guys, if you want to whack yours in the comment box, that'll be awesome as well. So what are your most important areas? And again, there is a process we go through. This is just a very, very rough, kind of off the top of your head answer, okay? So look at those values. Look at what you just wrote down. Now, ask yourself this question. If all of those areas of your life were going terribly, how would you feel? Write your answers. Literally, let's do this. Write your answer in the chat box. How would you feel if everything you just wrote down was going to shit? Say a family was terrible. Relationship was terrible. Health was terrible. How would you feel if all of them were going terribly? I got awful from Val. Anxious. Hopeless. Like shit. Good answer, Kayla. Shit, beautiful. And you do that for long enough, with enough intensity, guess what you're going to experience? Starts with D, ends with Eschen. You're going to feel depressed. That's it. Like it sounds, I'm not trying to invalidate anyone, but I'm trying to really hit this home. There's a lot more to complexity, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit more right now. But if you just be your authentic fucking self and stop trying to be someone that you think you have to be or should be or got to be to impress others, you're going to feel amazing. Who's tried to be someone that they're not before? Who's wore a mask before? A persona. Most of us have. And you feel shit. You beat yourself up. You feel sad. You feel hopeless. You feel lost. Everything you guys just wrote down. That's why you feel shit. And it's feedback to help you be authentic. So this is and this is, how there's benefits to anxiety. There's benefits to depression. Depression, when you're feeling depressed, it's feedback to help you be authentic. So if you're hanging out with someone and you feel shit, is that feedback that you probably don't want to hang out with this person anymore? I had a great example. I had a client. Her name's Liv. She's a rock star. She actually did a testimonial video on this, so she's happy with me sharing this. I do one-on-one coaching as well. I'll mention that at the end of this call. But we jumped on our call, and I'm like, "How was your week, Liv?" We always review the week that went. I say, "How was your week?" And she's like, "I just felt really shit. I felt really down." And I'm like, "Okay. Tell me, we had done values already." I said, "Tell me, what are your top 3 values?" And with those values, guys, your top 3 are most potent. They're most important, okay? So I said, "What are your top 3 values?" And it was, for her, off the top of my head, it was health, friendships, and business. So she is a nurse, but she wants to be a coach. She wants to help people in a similar way to what I do. And I said, "Okay, how was your friendships this week?" "Oh, I didn't see any of them." "Okay, how was your health? Did you train?" "I haven't trained this week." "How's your business? Have you done any work on your business?" "No, I haven't done anything." Like, interesting. Isn't that interesting? She felt shit, she felt sad, and she didn't prioritize what's important to her. Isn't that something interesting to think about, right? Again, I've got to be careful with the way I say this, and obviously we're on a call right now. We've gone through, we've probably got a bit more rapport now. I can't really say this to the average person. You can't go up to someone who's fucking depressed and suicidal and say, you're just not expressing your authentic self. You can't, because they'll punch you. And I've had that version of that through social media. So that's why I'm trying to tiptoe on the line of challenging you without invalidating you, which is actually quite a challenge, to be honest. But you live and learn, right? So here's my formula, guys. And I would probably take photos / write these down. This is my formula to make yourself feel incredible. So number 1, live in alignment with your highest values. So I have a process we go through, which I'd love to do with all of you guys and go through the challenge together, which I will talk about at the end. But get clear on your values and you'll see there, schedule them into your calendar. And then set boundaries around them. Don't let other people's expectations overtake your values, okay? Be selfish to be selfless, okay? Put yourself first. Fill your cup so you can pour from a full cup. Number 2, look after your health. Your health does affect how you feel. If you eat shit, you're going to feel shit. If you don't look after your health, you're going to experience, okay? So health is a part of the formula. Look after your health. Train 3 to 5 times a week. Eat healthy, unprocessed, and organic foods. They all improve your body's hormone and chemical balance, which impacts your feelings and emotions. Number 3, we went through some of this. Because remember, you might have a traumatic reaction, which is depression. So again, you might have gone through a trauma and your reaction to that is depression. So if you're getting triggered into depression, you want to heal the trauma. So that's why that's a part of the formula. Because you might have the best way to regulate your emotion. You might be healthy you might be living your highest values. But if you haven't healed your traumas, you're going to get triggered. Does that make sense, guys? Beautiful. Last one. Remove toxic energy from your life. You become who you surround yourself with and you pick up on other people's energies. Who's hung around someone with negative energy and you felt shit? Hands up. Beautiful. You become who you hang with. We've all heard that before. So cut those people out. And even if they're your friends that you've had for years or even your family members, you got to be selfish, guys. You got to be fucking selfish to be selfless, okay? Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you always review your values. We haven't done them today. We've done like the most quickest, shortest version, energy vampires. I like that. I haven't heard that before. Thank you, Dwayne. I love that, brother. Again, that second sentence there, guys, is huge. I can't say that directly to some people because it does trigger the shit out of them. But depression is feedback. You are not living in alignment with your values. That is it. I could not summarize it any better than that. But that invalidates people, that triggers them, etc., etc. So we won't go down that. So, alrighty, guys. Now, this is my questions for that. So what are you going to start to do to start progressing your mental health? When in your day / week will you do that? Because we want to schedule it in. Whatever doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. These are our last questions, guys. And then I'm just going to share with you guys some stuff about working with me further if you would like that, okay? Alrighty, go for it. I'll give you a minute and a half to answer those 2 questions. What are you going to start to do? And then when are you going to do it, okay?
I'm spending my money. I'm out of control. Somebody help me. She taking my bankroll. But I'm king of the club. And I'm wearing a crown. Popping these bottles.
Someone wrote down meditation. Great answer. Great answer. Big fan of meditation. That's something that I teach as well. I'm going to start choosing myself. And now, I love that, Dwayne. You guys want to write 1 or 2 in to the chat box? That'll be fantastic as well. Alrighty, guys. Getting back into gym working out. Love it, Kitty. You know where to go to, girlfriend. Come down and train with me, girlfriend. PLC Molendana, where is that? Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you guys to write down in the chat box, what are 3 light bulbs or takeaways or aha moments? I forgot who wrote that, but what are your 3 takeaways from today? Write that down into the chat box. Could be about purpose, could be about traumas, could be about healing, could be about values, could be about anxiety, could be about depression. We went through a bit of content. We covered a lot of ground today, guys. It's an hour and a half. We've covered a lot of ground today, which is really cool. So write down your 3 biggest takeaways. Write them down into the chat box if you're cool to do that, okay? Go for it. Alrighty, let's see. Anxiety is your body saving you. Yes, it is. It has a purpose, guys. We wouldn't have evolved to who we are if anxiety was not there. That blew my mind. Opposite of depression is expression. I got that off I did my neurolinguistic programming course about 3 years ago, and that was one of the lines that really stood out to me. So that was a huge light bulb for me when I heard that. I was like, no way. Breathing helps the best, absolutely. That I feel like I have healed from my past experiences. They are still there and have made me who I am today. Great answer, Kayla. That's awesome. Dwayne, have no expectations. Focus on yourself and accept things and people for what they are and are, but protect my energy and be picky. Great answer, man. Depression is feedback. You're not being your authentic life. Great answer, Jess. Love that one. Kill the monster while it's small. I love that one. That's a Tony Robbins one. Kill the monster while it's small before it's big enough to kill you. I still have some healing to do from a breakup last year. Anxiety isn't such a bad thing. Take care of myself first and foremost. Great answer. Awesome answers, guys. Great. My mission, why I'm triggered and why I disassociate. That's awesome. Sandy, I've learned about the link between anxiety and trauma and I need to be my authentic self. Great answer. It keeps refreshing. Great answer, guys. Keep them coming if you haven't written yours down. Kitty, that feeling unseen, unheard, and unloved is a form of trauma. Yes, that was huge for me. That was me, guys. That was a big one for me because some people think like, oh, I can only have trauma if I've been abused or been assaulted or been through something like huge, right? And obviously that is a part of it. But just like Man's Search for Meaning, Dr. Viktor Frankl, he went through more than what most people have, and he was able to heal from that. So everyone's different, guys. So your traumas are yours, guys. You want to appreciate them. You don't want to hold on to them. A line that I didn't put in this, I was going to put in this program, is if you fight for your problems, you get to keep them. So if you want to hold on to that shit, by all means do it. I wasn't going to share it. This girl shared my my recent anxiety video and like wrote like captions on her stories, tagged me and all that stuff. I'm just like, I want to help, but like, fuck, if you want that problem that bad, have it. Like if you're gonna fight that hard for it, it's yours. I sent her a couple videos, but she probably won't. She'll probably block me, to be honest. So, anyways, let's get going, guys. I want to ask you guys a question. Is it okay if I share with you guys some options to do some further teachings with me? Is that okay? Are you guys cool with that? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Beautiful. Thank you. I thought that was funny. I'm quite a weird dude. You know how I said I was weird in school? This is my type of humor. So, all right. Who experiences any of these? Put your hand up or either type in the chat. Lack of self-worth, confidence. Don't know who you authentically are. Self-sabotage. Motivation to get started or to follow through. Being triggered regularly. Lack of connection with friends and family. Lack of connection in an intimate relationship. Struggles to regulate your emotions. Lacks connection with your children. Next one as well. Depression, anxiety, stress. Lack of direction or clarity for your future. Judgment of yourself and others. Unhealthy ego. Limiting beliefs that are holding them back. Toxic/destructive habits. Struggles to be present, struggles to heal from past and let go, struggles with money habits and money beliefs. Can I see a hand up if you guys are, or in the chat box, if you guys are any of those, or any or many of those? Big yes, all of them. Same. Alrighty, let's get going. If I could fix all of these problems plus more, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed would you be to solving them? I'd love to hear it. So type in below on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 meaning you're willing to do the work and we'll figure it out. That means financially, we'll figure it out. 10 out of 10, you're willing to do it. 1 out of 10 is you probably shouldn't be on this call today because we've gone pretty deep today. 10. Great answers, guys. Beautiful. All right. If I was to help you guys plus more by doing the following. In week 1, we determine your values. We actually go through step by step, and I guide you every step of the way. So just so you know, guys, I am here with you every single step of the way. I'm your guide. I'm your coach. I'm your I was trying to think of another word. I'm your master to help you guys through this. Discover your purpose, your mission, your vision. We went through purpose today, but values tie into that, so you're going to get clearer on it. Master perceptions. I can't oversell week 3 more because it sounds kind of weird what it says. Master perception, rewire your brain. That is fucking life changing. I can't really, what we just went through, the trait, how to identify it, how to remove the judgment. It's deeper in that. It's really, really good. Limiting beliefs, regulating emotions, controlling your state, overcome your ego, meditation, creating a mind movie. A mind movie is a movie version of your vision. Really cool. Then you meditate on it. It's really powerful. Trauma reaction triggers. What we did today, but a lot deeper. Like we did, I think 20, 30 minutes on it today. We'll do an hour plus on just that. Overcoming judgment, anxiety, depression, this is where I have the spiritual side and the practical side. A good analogy, guys, is you want to be a Buddha in a Benz. You want to be super happy, super spiritual, super fulfilled, but you want to be practical and look after yourself, right? So that's where I am a good mix between the two. Because then we're going to create your plan, your master plan for your life. What are you going to do in the next 5 to 10 years? What are you going to do in the next 12 months? What are you going to do in the next quarter? What are you going to do next week? What are you doing today? And daily huddles. So take all that emotional work that we've done and create a life plan for you to live a life of your dreams. Oh, I can't even read my stuff. There we go. How would your life be different in 10 weeks if we did it together? You don't have to answer that. Just answer it for yourself. How would your life be different? Just think of that for yourself. What would that be worth to you guys? Would it be worth $2,000? Would it be worth 3? Would it be worth 5? Would it be worth 10? Just to let you guys know, I did a, who knows Tony Robbins? Who's heard of him? Tony Robbins? Any Tony Robbins fans? Love Tony Robbins. Big fan of Tony Robbins. He has an event called Date with Destiny. It's been postponed because it's because of COVID and we're still waiting to go do it. His event, Date with Destiny, is $10,000 for 5 days. 5 days. $10,000. But obviously he changes lives, right? So just to be honest with you guys, to help you with everything we just went through, for me to do it one-on-one with you guys would cost between $3,000 to $5,000. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, I'll give you guys an opportunity to apply for that as application only. I only take on 5 clients at one time because I value my energy and that's a boundary that I have for myself. However, I am running a 10-week challenge which will allow you to get that stuff, everything we went through, a lot more conveniently. So and that's a little photo. You guys take a photo of it now if you'd like to. Beautiful. I want to ask you guys a question. I would actually like for you guys to write that into a box. If we were to go through all of those, if we went through all of those, what would that be worth to you? I want you guys to write down in the chat box. What would that be worth to you? $1, $2, $5, $10? How much would it actually be worth to you for you to be the better parent, the better businesswoman, better businessman? Would it be to be a better friend, to be a better family member, to heal through it? What would it be worth? And I know people get a little bit hesitant around this, like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I'm just, guys, it could be worth $2 to you, and there's no judgment to you. There's no judgment. But whack it down in the chat box. I'll give you guys 5 seconds to be courageous, and if not, I will move forward, because I know this can be uncomfortable. I know the ego can show up, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to write anything down. I do not judge for that stuff, guys. So, priceless, great answer, Jess. I like that answer. It's an overwhelming question to consider. Forever? I'd pay a lot. Great answer. Yeah, and well, I love things where you do it once, you get the benefit forever, right? It's like you heal a trauma, then that trauma is now gone. You don't have, but I like the gym, you got to keep going back to the gym, right? You got to keep training, right? So yeah, so this would improve those areas of your life forever. Priceless. Fantastic, guys. Would it be worth $2,500? I guess I would like to hear you guys sort of feel that, see that, think of that. It's not worth $2,000. 2,000? That sounds a little bit more in the ballpark of what I've done. Oh, someone's just joined that. Someone's just joined the meeting. I'm actually going to pause this right now. I'm going to stop the recording, by the way. So guys, thank you for watching this recording. See ya. Bye.